Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Timeless Sagas. I'm your resident historian, and today, we're diving into the dark side of history. Buckle up, because we're counting down the top 5 cruelest dictators in history. Before we begin, let's not forget that history has a way of repeating itself. It's important to learn about these cruel leaders so we can recognize the patterns and avoid the same pitfalls in our modern world. But fear not, I'll be throwing in some humor to lighten the mood. And now, without further ado, let's get started. Number 5, Benito Mussolini. Italy. Home of pizza, gelato, and fascism? That's right, folks. Benito Mussolini was a key player in the rise of fascism and the ultimate dictator of Italy from 1925 to 1943. His rule began with the promise of restoring Italy to its former Roman glory, but we'll see how that turned out. Mussolini's regime was marked by extreme nationalism, the suppression of free speech, and the persecution of political opponents. He was also a big fan of censorship, and I don't mean just bleeping out swear words. We're talking about full-on control of the press, radio, and cinema. The cruelty of his regime was also apparent in his invasion of Ethiopia in 1935. Using mustard gas and other chemical weapons, Mussolini's troops killed and maimed thousands of Ethiopians. Talk about a toxic relationship. Mussolini's reign of terror finally ended with Italy's defeat in World War II, but not before leaving a lasting impact on the world. Number 4, Joseph Stalin. Next up, we have the mustache-twirling villain of Soviet Russia, Joseph Stalin. He may have looked like a walrus, but his actions were nothing to laugh about. Stalin was the leader of the Soviet Union from the mid-1920s until his death in 1953. Stalin's reign was marked by a series of brutal policies that led to the suffering and death of millions. His Great Purge, which began in 1936, was an intense period of political repression, where an estimated 700,000 people were executed. It was like a deadly game of Where's Waldo, but with political dissidents. The cruelty didn't stop there. His forced collectivization of agriculture led to widespread famine, killing millions more. And let's not forget the Gulag labor camps, where tens of thousands perished from overwork, malnutrition, and exposure to the harsh elements. BRR, talk about a cold-hearted leader. Despite his horrific actions, Stalin did play a significant role in the defeat of Nazi Germany during World War II. But that doesn't excuse the suffering he caused. Number 3, Mao Zedong. Moving on, we have Mao Zedong, the founding father of the People's Republic of China. Mao ruled China from 1949 until his death in 1976, and under his leadership, China underwent massive social, economic, and political upheaval. Mao was a big fan of radical change, and his Great Leap Forward aimed to transform China's agrarian society into a modern, industrialized powerhouse. Unfortunately, this plan was a colossal failure, resulting in widespread famine and the death of an estimated 20 to 45 million people. That's a whole lot of zeros, folks. His Cultural Revolution was no walk in the park either. Mao targeted intellectuals, educators, and artists, subjecting them to public humiliation, imprisonment, and even execution. It's like he had a personal vendetta against bookworms and creative types. Despite the immense suffering caused by his policies, Mao is still revered by some as a hero who fought against imperialism and modernized China. But at what cost? Number 2, Adolf Hitler. The infamous Adolf Hitler. No list of cruel dictators would be complete without this guy. As the leader of Nazi Germany from 1934 to 1945, Hitler's actions led to the death and suffering of millions during World War II. Hitler's twisted ideology of Aryan supremacy and anti-Semitism culminated in the Holocaust, where an estimated 6 million Jews were systematically murdered. That's not to mention the millions of others, including Romani people, disabled individuals, and LGBTQ+ individuals, who were also targeted by the Nazis. Hitler's aggressive foreign policy sparked World War II, causing death and destruction across the globe. In total, it's estimated that 70 to 85 million people died as a result of the war, including 11 million who perished in Nazi concentration camps. While Hitler's reign of terror ended with his suicide in 1945, the scars of his actions remain a sobering reminder of the depths of human cruelty. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1, Genghis Khan. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're going way back in time for our number 1 pick. Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongol Empire, was the OG of ruthless dictators. He ruled from 1206 until his death in 1227, and during that time, his empire expanded across Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. What makes Genghis Khan stand out from other cruel dictators is the sheer scale of his conquests and the brutality that accompanied them. It's estimated that 40 million people, or 10% of the world's population at the time, died as a result of his campaigns. That's a whole lot of carnage. Genghis Khan was known for his brutal tactics, including the wholesale slaughter of entire cities, the use of human shields, and even catapulting diseased corpses over city walls to spread disease. Talk about a messy breakup. While Genghis Khan's empire did lead to increased trade along the Silk Road and the exchange of ideas between East and West, the human cost of his reign was astronomical. And there you have it, folks. Our top 5 cruelest dictators in history. As we come to the end of this dark journey, let's remember the lessons we can learn from these figures and strive to make the world a better place, one step at a time. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Timeless Sagas for more engaging and educational content. Until next time, stay curious, my friends.